Hello, my name is Gordon Ramsay, and I am one of the few current runners of Sonic Project 06. If you're not familiar with Project 06, either as a speedrun or just in general, this is a recreation of Sonic 06 from the ground up, made in Unity by Chaos X. Project 06 aims to restore the missing content from Sonic 06, make it closer to the developer's original vision, and honestly, it has done an amazing job so far. Well, Chaos X has, I should say. He's the main one doing this. You may have heard Sonic 06 referred to as Sonic Adventure 3, but maybe if you've played the game yourself, you didn't understand that comparison. Project 06 actually plays like Sonic Adventure 3. This game looks and feels just absolutely amazing. If you want to pick this game up and mess around with it casually, it's so fast, it's so fun. If you want to speedrun it, you'll have an amazing time. Now, like I said, I am one of very few currently active runners of this game. You may see a few ILs, individual level runs uploaded on YouTube. There are a few people in the 06 Discord who play it. I am the main one, though, that, to my knowledge, who actively runs the game. I've done a lot of routing, a lot of glitch hunting, and my goal with this tutorial is to give you a good introduction into speedrunning this game. I won't be covering every little possible detail in every single stage. That's just a waste of time. My goal here is to give you an understanding of how the game plays, general idea of what routes to take in each stage, what your options are, so that you have a good foundation for speedrunning the game. Now, before we begin, there are a few things you will want to do. Well, first off, what version we're running. Project 06 has had a few releases over the years, the most recent being Demo 3.5. This is a speedrun tutorial for Demo 3. Demo 3 is a much better speedrun than Demo 3.5. 3.5 does have some merits, but generally it's a lot slower. I will upload a separate tutorial for 3.5 at some point, at least provided there's interest. It's a little different, but if you want to speedrun this game, check out Demo 3. Link to the download is in the description below. Now, if you want to stream the game, I would recommend going into video settings and turning some of these down. If you have a very good PC, maybe something along the lines of this. I don't know if it's just me, but personally I've had a lot of frame drops when trying to stream it. Anyways, go into extras, go into game room. There are a few settings you want to change. First off, most of these are just cosmetic. You don't have to change any of these to run, but I would highly recommend keeping jump dashes straight and using the E3 camera and turning homing reticle on. Homing reticle basically lets you see excuse me. Homing reticle basically lets you see what you're actually going to homing attack, which is very useful in this game. Camera type, you can set it to whatever you want. If you want to run retail, if you want to run TGS, that's fine. I like E3 for the Mach speed sections. And then jump dash, you can either set it to curved or straight. The reason I recommend straight is because 06 was kind of made with that kind of jump dash in mind. Jump dash being homing attack. If you try to run it with curved, a lot of the tricks I show off may not work, or they're going to be a lot harder, so I'm just assuming that if you're watching this, you'll be running the game with jump dash set to straight. Now, I assume you have a basic understanding of what all the buttons in Project 06 do. Just in case you don't, here's a brief recap. Tap X to do a spin dash. This is like SA1, so you can just tap X to activate it. If you tap it multiple times, you'll pick up speed. You can charge it if you want, but in general, your fastest form of movement, just spam spin dash. If you're going downhill, you want to do a spin dash because that lets you pick up speed. You can tap B to do a sliding kick. You can hold it to do an anti-grav. Double tap A to do a homing attack. Tap X while in the air to do a bound attack. And you can chain bound. The more times you use it, the higher you go, but you also incur a speed penalty. Project 06 does have a few mechanics that it doesn't explain super well, though. Or at all, honestly. So, normally, Sonic can just do one homing attack. That's what you would expect based on every other Sonic game. Project 06 is different. You can actually do two. I don't know if you caught it there on my input display or on the sounds, but if you do a bound attack, so bounce bracelet, after a homing attack, you're actually allowed to homing attack again. Now, you can only do this one other time. You can get a maximum of one extra homing attack. So if I were to do this, I couldn't flick from X to A again. I'm just allowed the one. But double homing attacks is generally all you need. Technically, if you have white gem, you can do 3 homing attacks by doing homing attack, bounce bracelet, white gem, refreshed homing attack. But there's really no use for that, at least as far as I know. I haven't routed it anywhere. But yeah, just keep in mind, flick from X to A after a homing attack to do a second one. The gems are pretty interesting. So blue gem, you tap RT, you get a burst of speed. Generally, after doing this, you'll want to enter into a spin dash. So by tapping X, that lets you preserve your speed pretty well. Sky gem is more or less useless on its own, don't worry about this one at all. And white gem is useful because we can use it immediately out of purple gem, which gives us a double homing attack. See, normally after a purple gem jump, you're not allowed to do a homing attack. So, with it, I can do things like that. Well, things like this. It's pretty useful. Now, purple gem, I didn't explain this one. Purple gem gives you a mid-air jump. And you get an additional jump per level. So I'm level 3, now I can do a total of 3 mid-air jumps, 4 jumps total. If you've played this game casually, you may think the best way to use purple gem is just jump, hold it, then hold A, so like this. This is not optimal. This is not ideal. That burns way too much gauge. The best way to do it is to jump, tap RT to shrink, and then tap A. There's a fair bit of leniency on it, don't worry, it's not a super tight input, but as you can see, that uses way less gauge than something like this. And gauge management is very, very important in the run. There is one other mechanic of purple gem that is not explained at all. If you cancel your purple gem jump with another purple gem jump in the middle of it, you will go significantly higher. So, as you can see, if I'm just kind of spamming it, I'm going decently high. If I try to wait as long as possible, I'm not going to go very high at all. If I time it, though, I can go very, very, very high. And you may already see the potential in this. You need to learn purple gem high jumps. They're not terribly hard, but they do take some practice. Just remember, it's not a super fast input. There's generally some leniency with it. Just aim to jump in the middle of your purple gem jump. Now, with that out of the way, we should be good to get into it. Technically, Silver's here. We're not going to play as him in the speedrun, so you don't need to worry about his movement kit. One other thing about gems, if you collect one of these capsules, you'll instantly fill up your action gauge and grant a level up to whatever gem you have equipped. You can also kill 3 enemies to level up whatever gem is currently selected. Now, just as a quick note, because I forgot to mention this earlier, this is a speedrun tutorial for the All Gems category. Project 06 has 2 main categories, which are New Game, which is exactly what it sounds, and All Gems. All Gems allows you to collect any gold medals you want ahead of time, as many lives as you want. You may have seen I had like 90-something, and most importantly, any gems you want. Now, this last one is very, very important. You only want the 4 gems that I showed off a second ago. You only want to have blue, purple, sky, and white. If you don't know where to get those gems, there are tutorials online. They do a much better job explaining where to get them than I could. But just a quick rundown, blue is in Aquatic Base, end of Section 2 in the Red Room. Purple is in Radical Train, towards the middle of Section 1. Sky is in White Acropolis, end of Section 2, it's kind of hidden in a corner. And white is at the beginning of Kingdom Valley, Section 1. Take the second eagle. Now, the reason we only want to grab these gems is because we're going to be swapping between gems a lot in this speedrun. Like, this is very, very fast-paced. There's a lot of gem menuing going on. It's nothing too overwhelming, don't worry about that. But we want to make sure we only have those 4 gems so that we're doing as few D-pad inputs as necessary. If we were to, say, pick up green gem, that would go between blue and purple. So if we want to quickly swap between blue gem into, say, purple gem high jumps, that gets a lot harder. So just grab those gems. The general layout is complete, all the stages in order, from Act 1 Wave Ocean to Extra Tails Wave Ocean. You can technically complete them in any order you want, but there's no benefit, really, to doing them like that in this category, so I will be structuring this as Wave Ocean to Wave Ocean. Now let's get into it. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is press right on the D-pad, enable Blue Gem. You won't actually gain any action gauge unless you have a gem equipped, so just do that immediately. Now, follow those rings, get up to here, avoid the dash pad. If you hit that jump pad, it's very, very slow. Instead, what you want to do is hold no direction, press RT to Blue Gem, bounce bracelet, homing attack, like this. And that'll take you to here. Now from here, you're good to just kind of Blue Gem, spam homing attack a bit, do a bit of this. Do enter into a spin dash after that last light dash trail. That gets you through the loop a little bit faster. Follow this. Now we're going to do something similar here, but hold the direction, jump off there, and do a double homing attack. If you do it right, you'll get taken to here. Now, this jump is a little tricky. If you don't want to do it, you're good to just, say, jump up, homing attack these springs. It's whatever. But, if you want to be fast, what we're going to do is Blue Gem into this capsule, swap to Purple Gem so that it gets leveled up, and then Purple Gem jump over to that island. So we land somewhere around here, and do this. 1, 2. Now, if you're not confident that you made it, just do a White Gem, refreshed homing attack. Now, Project 06 has added in the ability to bounce off of enemies. If I just jump and make contact with an enemy, I'm going to go very high. We want to do that here. Homing attack this specific part of the rail. Rails in Project 06 are kind of weird. Generally, if you homing attack onto them, you won't get a lot of speed. But if you homing attack this section right here, you will maintain your speed. You'll go very fast. Also, while on rails, press X to do a trick and speed up. So like that. Jump off here. You can jump out of spin kicks in this game. It's just a fast way to get through there. And then just copy my movement through here. It's pretty simple. Now, if you want to be slow, you can take these springs. If you want to be fancy, you can actually jump around them, and then just homing attack that last one. Pretty straightforward. And then right here we have some nice automation. I'm technically controlling Sonic, but I believe you can just let the wind trails do their thing. Now, in a second, we're going to have to jump. The ideal way to do this is actually to delay your A inputs a little bit. There are a variable amount of jumps that you'll have to perform, but if you wait a little bit, you will have to do like one less. It's a little bit faster. Tails has been reworked pretty significantly, but all we care about right now is his flight. So if you just hold down A, Tails is going to go up, but it's going to be kind of slow. If we let him fly, see, his gauge depletes slower when he's falling, but it's kind of hard to make him go back up. The fastest way to fly his Tails, or the best way, is to just kind of tap the A button. This lets you gain height and a fair bit of distance. So what we're going to want to do here is fly up here. In Project 06, if you jump off a slope with like any sort of momentum, you're going to go really high. So run forward, jump, and then just kind of tap A a bit. Hold it at the end, and you can make it to about here. Sometimes you can land on the rock and then do a slope jump. I failed it, but just flying up here, hit the switch, and we'll be going into Mach speed. Now, there's a lot to explain in Mach speed, so bear with me. We're going to be on the pause screen, likely for a little bit. So, I think the best way to do this is, I'm going to explain how Mach speed works, and then I'm going to show you the normal, like, speedrun route of this section, and then I'll kind of do a play-by-play, go back through it, explain what you just saw. I think that'll be the best way to do this, because there's a lot to unpack in this Mach speed section. So, Mach speed actually has 3 different levels of speed. I call them Mach 1, Mach 2, and Mach 3. Mach 1 is what you start out in, and you keep Mach 1 if you just run without holding forward. In Mach 1, Sonic's arms are kind of out to his side. He's easy to control, but he's not very fast. If you hold forward, he'll gradually speed up, his arms will go back, and he'll enter Mach 2. You can also enter Mach 2 by light dashing without holding a direction. But, as you can see, in Mach 2, if I hit an enemy, I take damage. Now, there is a third level, Mach 3. If I light dash while holding forward, I'm going to enter Mach 3, Sonic will get a kind of slipstream effect, and I'll keep Mach 3 as long as I hold forward. While in Mach 3, any objects or enemies I hit instantly get destroyed. Like so. Enter Mach 3, boom. Drop that, no reduction in speed. Now you do want to keep light dashing while in Mach 3 to reset your speed to keep going faster. Now if you've played this section casually, you may do something like this, you know, take that jump pad, take that automation. Maybe you're a bit fancy and jump over that jump pad. You're feeling pretty good. Let me show you the speedrun route. And in just a second I would finish the level. So, you might be wondering, what just happened? And if so, that's very fair. Basically, the name of the game in Mach speed is getting Mach 3 and keeping it as long as possible because it's so much faster than Mach 2. If we take a jump pad or chain jump, that breaks Mach 3. And of course, that's just so much slower. So, what we do is roof launch. In Project 06, if you hit a slope with speed, you go very high into the air. It turns out that those roofs are slopes, and it turns out that Mach speed is kinda really fast. Now, some of those jumps may have looked intimidating, but I promise they're actually pretty easy. The first one is probably the hardest because I took it in Mach 3, but if you're just starting out, there are a lot of easier alternatives. I recommend doing it in like Mach 2, which I'll show off how to do right now. So, do normal movements, Mach 3. Light dash here, light dash here, but I entered speed 2, so I didn't hold a direction with that second light dash. I'm in speed 2. Now, when the enemies spawn in, I'm going to go to the second one from the right. I hope that's how you refer to it. And then I'm just gonna jump, and it's easy, assuming my frame rate holds. My frame rate did not hold. Let me do that again. Yep. Mach speed does have that lovely bug. Not really sure what causes it, but if you pause, game just kind of dies. So, I just run up to the bot, I jump, I'm in the air, I'm roof launching. It's easy. Anybody could boot this up right now and do it. You don't actually want to get a second roof launch. It's pretty slow. If you do, just bounce bracelet to the ground or whatever. If you land on the little pier, jump over the dash pad. Now, the second one can be a little hard at first, but let me explain the inputs. We're going to light dash off the last trail of rings, then hold a jump, and angle Sonic a bit to the right, a bit upright. So we'll dash along, light dash here, jump, angle him to the right. And if you do it correctly, you'll fly around the little, like, wooden pillar. You may nick it, but you won't bonk on it. That's what's important. That's why we angle Sonic to the right. You won't have enough height or speed or whatever to actually reach that roof unless you light dash off that last trail of rings. And unless it's a speed 3 light dash. So just hold forward, light dash, angle him upright, and then you'll be flying. Tilt him kind of wide to the left. If you try to go very sharp, you'll hit a coplane, but it's very easy to avoid. Just kind of gently angle him in like I did. Now in this cave, the reason I jump there is because there are spike balls. If I take a hit on a spike ball in Mach 3, or just... Sorry, if I take a hit from a spike ball while on the ground, I lose all my speed. It's awful. If I take a hit while in the air, pretty much nothing happens. Now, this loop up here is a little complicated. If you want to do what I did in the video, jump and angle Sonic to the left pretty much as soon as you get on it. I wouldn't worry too much about that tech, though. It saves a little bit of time. It's pretty fancy, but it's also kind of hard to do. So, what I'd recommend instead is just running into the loop and mashing the A button while holding left. So I run in, now let's mash, and that's why. If you do a frame-perfect A press, so press A the frame you hit the jump pad, you actually don't get affected by it, and you can just angle Sonic into the goal ring. If you do get caught by it and you have to take the chain jumps, it's okay. It's a little slow, but it's fine. Now, if you want to do the Mach 3 enemy jump, that one's a little harder, so I'm going to do my best to explain it, but don't feel any obligation to pick this one up quite yet. It is very easy once you learn how to do it, but again, it is a more advanced trick if you're just starting out. Just settle for your Mach 2 roof launches. They're fine. They're fine. So the way you do the Mach 3 launch is, or at least my personal lineup, you see this set of rocks? Once I see that spawn in, I get ready to release the control stick. I'm going to let Sonic run for a little while longer, but then I'm just going to reset it to neutral. As I get past the rocks, the enemy should spawn in, and the one I want to jump off of should get kind of close to the ground. Once I see him getting close, I'll start holding forward again, and I'll jump. Of course, I can't see squat because of that frame glitch. So, one more time. There we go. There's the successful launch. So, that's the Mach 3 roof launch. It's not that bad. There is one last piece of tech I want to show off because I think this is the best place to mention it. There's technically Mach 4. Now, don't worry about this tech. Absolutely do not worry about Mach 4. This is a tech that is only potentially useful for ILs. It doesn't really save time. It's just, well, it saves a little, but it doesn't save a significant amount of time, at least for an RTA run. It's very difficult, but it's kind of cool, and I want to show it off. So, if you follow the movement that I'm about to do, Sonic goes a little bit faster, and he almost outspeeds the egg carrier. Like, you catch up to it with these normal roof launches, he almost gets ahead of it with Mach 4. Going over this ramp is what triggers Mach 4. There we go. So, as you can see, I'm pretty far into the egg carrier, and I go a whole lot farther than a regular Mach 3 launch. And this effect actually persists over to here. It's pretty cool. But again, Mach 4 is very difficult to do right. That's why we jump, kids. Very difficult to do right. Very tough trick, but very cool. And that's about it for Mach Speed. If you got through that, congrats. That's the Wave Ocean tech. There is one last thing I should mention from Mach Speed. If you're having trouble light dashing on rings, kind of tilt Sonic into them. Kind of tilt him in their direction. If I just try to run forward and spam it, it's not going to work very well. So, yeah, that's about all there is for Wave Ocean Mach Speed. Let's go to the next stage. So the next stage on the list is Dusty Desert, and thankfully this and White Acropolis are fairly easy or straightforward. So, Dusty Desert is one of two Princess stages in the run. The other is Tropical Jungle. Princess stages we're carrying Elise, so our moveset's kind of limited. Our homing attack doesn't go nearly as far, and the only other abilities we have access to are Light Dash, Anti-Grav, and we can press RT to summon this Fire Shield. The Fire Shield will deal damage to any enemies we walk into, or objects. It kind of protects us from damage, and it also lets us walk on sand. Sand in Project 06 isn't an insta-kill, you'll kind of sink into it for a bit, but you generally still want to have the shield up. Sometimes you can do something like this, though. One other thing to mention, Anti-Grav is kind of like a little homing attack, or, sorry, Spin Dash. You don't want to, like, spam it, it won't give you speed or anything, but it does let you preserve speed pretty well, and it also picks up speed if you use it while going down a slope. So, let's see, I don't have a great hill here, but you'll see it in action. So generally, if we do something like Light Dash, it's a good idea to Anti-Grav, and as you can see, we're going kind of fast. So, Princess stages, movement's pretty simple. We will pick up a special power-up about halfway through that will change things a bit. I'll explain it when we get to it. For now, just follow my movement. Homing attack, anti-grav. Try to do a slide. If it doesn't work out, just slide on the second, or light dash on the second set of rings and slide. Hold up left as you go off that jump ramp. And jump over this one. I like to homing attack the dune. Now, in just a second, I'm going to light dash off this trail of rings, then slide. But, more importantly, I'm going to grab a power-up called Speed Shoes. Now, Speed Shoes do exist in Retail 06. They're used in one of Shadow's town missions, and they're used in multiplayer, but there's a good chance you never encountered them. Speed Shoes in Project 06 are insanely good. They massively, massively speed up your ground and airspeed. We're going to grab 4 pairs of them across 3 different stages, and pretty much every time we grab them, we complete the stage or section very shortly after. So Speed Shoes, a lot of speed, can be a little hard to control. Just keep it in mind, keep it in mind. They're very, very fun to use though. So light dash, anti-grav to keep speed. I like to jump into them. And now just follow my movement here. It is faster to be on the ground than in the air, but sometimes you'll just get launched up. I like to jump around that loop, and you want to hit that rainbow ring. If you don't hit that rainbow ring, it's actually faster, as far as I know, to just restart the stage from the beginning. It's really that bad. Hitting the rainbow ring isn't awful. Like, you should be able to do it pretty consistently, but it will take a few tries to get the feel for it. So, go into this stage for a little in ILs, just practice it, get a feel for Speed Shoes, because they honestly are awesome, but a little bit hard to control. So, just this basic movement. Jump over here, and you can homing attack through. Now, you don't really want to hold a direction, just kind of tap Sonic up left as you get out of that rainbow ring, because you're still going to have a little bit of time left on Speed Shoes, and if you hold hard in any direction, you'll just go flying off. Yeah, take that spring, few A presses. Now, I'm going to activate the fire shield here. What I'm going to do is light dash twice, and then use my momentum to jump to the last trail of rings. If I don't hold fire shield, there's a chance I bonk on this enemy in the center. So, fire shield, press Y, jump, light dash, then anti-grav to keep speed, light dash, anti-grav to keep speed, and there we go. That's Dusty. Like I said, it's a pretty straightforward stage. There is some complexity to it. It is a pretty fun stage to run, but yeah, you should get the feel for it pretty quickly. Now, White Acropolis. White Acropolis introduces another mechanic, the snowboard. Now, snowboard, it's actually kind of simple. The only things you need to know are, if I run into something, well, can I show it off? There we go. I'm going to bonk. And the distance I go back is proportional to kind of how much speed I have. In general, you want to avoid bonking. If you have slowdown, you can press X to speed Sonic up a bit. But the main way we go fast is by jumping, because when you jump, your airspeed doesn't actually get capped. So, there are a few instances where we're just going to spam jump and we're going to go really, really fast. In general, you want to jump if you're going downhill, but don't just blindly spam jump, that will slow you down. Aside from that, just follow my movement. Jump at the start here. It can get you a bit farther than that. Take this trick ramp and angle left. Jump here. You can jump there if you want. I've kind of capped my speed. I got a little too much. Yeah, that jump can be a little tricky. Just gonna leave that in, show you some of the things that can go wrong. So, jump there. If you see Sonic if you see him not go very high, that means you did successfully bypass the speed cap, and you'll have a fair bit of momentum. That should work. Angle Sonic kind of to the side like I am here. If you have a lot of speed, that lets you preserve it pretty well when you hit the ground. I'm kicking here, you don't actually have to. These jumps, as far as I know, aren't necessarily faster, but I don't think they lose time, so I like going for them. Now, don't jump as you exit that. Just let Sonic slide off it. Take the shortcut. When you get through here, spam jump. We got a little unlucky. We hit the snowball. That doesn't usually happen, but again, sometimes. So slide over here, and now jump and hold down on the control stick. We also kind of want to be on the right side of the screen. It's a little bit safer. And if we do this properly, we're going to keep our speed all the way through. I botched it there, so let me get hit by the snowball to show that off again. If you get hit by the snowball, it's just instant death. Alright, so I'm mashing A through here, getting hit by snowball. Other than that, going pretty fast. It's a pretty good time. Angle on through, and then jump, hug the right. As you can see on the input display, I'm just kind of mashing A, and here we go. Now, I do recommend taking a jump there. Sometimes you'll have enough speed that you can just hold down A and Sonic will fly over it, but as far as I know, there's no way to tell if you actually have enough speed to do that. So, if you want to risk your run, you can just hold A and hope he goes over it, but sometimes he'll just fall to the ground. Anyways, that's section 1. It's pretty straightforward. Now right here, when we load in, immediately swap to the purple gem. Our goal is to get a level 3 purple gem. We're going to finish this section very, very quickly. So I like to go through that container, take out these 3 enemies, and I'm missing like 1 more hit. I'll take down this guy just for good measure. Now, do you remember how I talked about purple gem high jumps? Just as a refresher, if I try to hold on to my jumps for as long as possible, I'm not going to go very high. If I try to jump in the middle of them, however, I can get a fair bit of air. We're going to do that to go over a big ol' invisible ceiling. We're going to use that in Sky Gem. Sky Gem, I didn't explain this before, but if you use it while up against a wall, you just kind of shoot into the air. So what we want to do is stand on this rock, and we're going to blue gem, jump, then swap to purple and do high jumps pretty quickly. So blue gem, jump, purple gem, high jumps. If you get about to here, you should be high enough. Just swap to Sky Gem, throw it, and hold forward. And if you did it right, you'll go right over. And then just copy this movement, and you'll make it to the end. Pretty straightforward. Pretty cool. Pretty clean. The high jumps can occasionally be hard, but this is a pretty good place to practice them, honestly. There is a 1-up. I didn't show it off. It's a little bit to the left in that starting area, so you can practice it about as much as you want. That's White Acropolis, though. Not too much going on. It's just a good introduction into purple gem high jumps and Sky Gem shoot-ups. Now, Crisis City. This has a little cutscene at the beginning. If you want to skip it, wait until the now loading sign starts to do this, and then hit start over, and you'll skip it. Now, when you load in, hold A, and as the camera starts to turn, jump while holding forward. That jump may look a little scary, but I promise, if you just jump whenever the camera turns, you'll get it every single time. Like, there's a lot of leniency on this. A thing to mention about snowboarding sections, generally you don't want to take trick ramps. They're actually kind of slow, and also rail grinding is insanely slow. This is one trick ramp you do want to take, so jump over it, and just kind of copy my movement. There's not a lot going on in this Crisis City snowboard. Thankfully, it's also the last one we have to do. Snowboard sections aren't awful. They can be kind of fun, but, you know. I'm glad there's only 2. Get on this rail and jump as you reach the top. If you get there at like 37 seconds, you're good. Do 1 jump, then hold up left. Hit this rail, then jump as the camera starts to turn. And that should be about 49 seconds. Yeah, there we go. Now right at the start here, swap to blue gem. This is where gem management becomes important. Every time you kill 3 enemies, well, every time you kill 3 enemies, you can get a gem level up. Each enemy gives you 1 progress towards leveling up whatever gem you have equipped. You get 3 of those, your gem will level up. In Crisis City, we want to get a level 2 purple gem, and that's about all we're going to do. We don't have a lot of enemy kills, so we gotta be a bit precise. So swap to blue gem at the start. I know I said we're leveling up purple, just trust me. Bounce Bracelet down here, and kind of angle Sonic for this ramp. Now you see those birds? Here we go. I'm going to jump and let Sonic bounce off of the first one. I'm going to homing attack the second, and I'm going to go through this rainbow ring. And hopefully I did that fast enough. Now when I land here, I want to blue gem, jump, and immediately swap to purple. I didn't quite do it fast enough. Generally, you should be fine with this. It's just I'm taking some time to explain, so I'm a little bit slower. Jump, like this. Now, blue gem, jump, swap to purple, and try to homing attack the rail from below. If you don't get it, just do a refreshed homing attack, you'll be good. I like to spin dash into that enemy on the left, swap to purple. It levels up. Get over here. Now what we're going to do is skip all the way over to there. We're going to blue gem, jump, and then purple gem. So purple gem, I like to hold on to these jumps, give some good distance, and try to homing attack onto it from below. We actually did that very, very well. It gave us speed. If that doesn't happen, that's fine. Just get up to the end somehow. I like to spin dash as I go down that ramp. The movement in just a second is going to be kind of fast. We're going to do some blue gem jumps. So spam homing attack through here, blue gem jump. Now, blue gem jump and aim for that corner. Cool, got it. Now we want to purple gem and... Okay, good. We hit that dash pad. Something to know about Project 06 loops and a few other pieces of geometry. They are completely automated. If I set foot on this loop, I do not get control of Sonic. I cannot move him left or right, I cannot speed him up, I cannot slow him down, I cannot jump. So, if I miss that dash pad, it's a very, very slow walk across this loop. If you want to be safe, you can do a bounce bracelet homing attack to target that rail a bit before the dash pad. That will line you up correctly. If you want to be fancy, just go for it. Do not hold a direction as this section loads. For whatever reason, springs and a few other things store your last input, so if I hold forward, I'll skid. If I hold nothing, I'll be fine. Just copy my movement through here. I missed the light dash. Blue gem, jump. This is cycle-based, so my cycles might be a little off because I missed that light dash, but it should be okay. I go for a jump. Bounce off that enemy. Purple gem on over. Blue gem, jump, homing attack, refreshed homing attack. Now, if you die, hopefully you don't, but it can happen. Don't worry, though. You can still make it through. Backup route is very, very similar. Just do a little bit of improv, you know? Okay, don't improv like that. Do a little bit of improv without the death. So jump. Okay, do a little bit of improv, swapping to blue gem without the death. This time for sure. And that's what I mean by if you hold a direction, you will skid. See, I'm showing off all sorts of things. It's not botched commentary, it's not botched execution, it's just showing off some fun things. Yeah, that's the excuse I'll use. And there we go. As you can see, there's a fair bit you can do. You can just kind of make your own route. That's the one I like to do if I fail it. Crisis City Mach Speed. This one is hard. You already know the Mach Speed mechanics. Get speed 3, keep it as long as possible. Crisis City Mach Speed is hard because if you bonk on anything, typically you die. Thankfully, there are a lot of light dash drills that will more or less carry us to the end, absolutely free. You just need to rely on them. So follow my movement. Light dash here, then go to the left. Light dash, middle, right, left, middle, left. With these pipes, you want to jump early. Jump, pipe, jump early, jump, light dash. With here, start holding down. You don't have to get all these light dash trails, but it does help. Try not to hold anything as the camera transitions, by the way. I got hit by a car. I should be alive? Maybe? Okay, that was close. We didn't actually bonk, we just lost speed. That's the only reason I'm alive there. And then the final obstacle is a truck. Just jump over it, it's easy. Now what I'm doing here is a technique I like to call result skip. If you pause on the frame you enter the goal ring, you can just do this. Technically, this run is timed RTA, at least for now, so that trick does save time. I haven't banned it. I'm not sure if I want to or not. It's just a thing you can go for. Just something to keep in mind. But yeah, that's Crisis City. The main goal, or main takeaways from it, Section 1 is snowboarding. You know the drill. Try to clear it in like 50 seconds. That's a good time. That's a very good time. Section 2, get a level 2 purple gem, and then just kind of go in, break the stage. Section 3, it's pretty freeform. If you fail it, don't worry, you don't need to reset. You will take a time loss, but you can still make it through. And then Section 4, follow the light dash trails. Now, for Flamecore. Flamecore is probably the sickest stage in the run, but it's also one of the hardest. We have some normal gameplay for about 30 seconds, and then we have like a minute of straight tricks. So, I'm going to do my best to explain this. Don't be intimidated. I will show backup routes, but I promise you can get this with practice. So start out, swap to blue gem immediately, or any gem you want to build up some gauge. Then I like to blue gem off there. Spin dash twice. Just builds up a bit more gauge. And just kind of copy my movement here. Homing attack this. Now swap to purple. We want a level 3 purple gem as fast as possible. This combat's pretty simple. Once you get your purple to level 3, you can level up blue gem. And after this door, the fun begins. Speed choose. So what I'm going to try to do is homing attack to the spring, but get the speed shoes on the way. You can act out of wide springs, so springs like these. So I'm going to swap to purple gem and do high jumps to get up to a platform. Now, the reason I'm explaining all this now is because there isn't a lot of room for error, at least if you want to do this perfectly. There isn't a lot of room for error after you get these speed shoes and do your high jumps. Now, the purple gem high jumps, they don't have to be anything insane. Just don't try to hold on to your jumps for as long as possible. 1, 2, 3, that's good. Follow my movement here. I do like to hold on to my jumps here. Go for a slope jump. And do this. And then, of course, you just kind of go to the end. Now, that trick looks insane, but honestly, it's not awful. The most important thing is that slope jump. If you fail the slope jump, I'm going to show you the backup, because that bit right there is the only hard one. What you're trying to do there is just keep your speed shoe momentum for as long as possible. And a slope jump lets you cleanly get up to that higher platform. If you miss it, you have to do an enemy bounce, so I'll show that off. Now, that is kind of the main way to clear Section 1. There are technically other routes you could use, but they're slow to the point that it's really just worth learning that one. It's not terribly difficult. Promise you can pick it up. I believe in you. So, get over here. Homing attack it. I jump up. And just kind of fly like this. There's ring capsule if you want it. Let's see if this works. So, okay, failed that. I will cut to when I'm back at the checkpoint. Okay, we're back. So, let's do that again, shall we? Okay, it's a good trick. It's a good trick, I promise. So, homing attack that. I jump on up. And let's go. So, if you don't get the slope jump, you can try to bounce off the enemy. If you don't, just kind of do a purple gem on up. Now, you probably won't be able to go all the way, so just cut it short there on that platform and blue gem on over. That's the backup. Now, Section 2 has a similar skip, except this one is, honestly, a lot harder. So, what we want to do here is blue gem jump off the slope of this capsule, purple gem high jump to about there, and then sky gem over. That sounds awful because it is awful. I will try to show this off here. Thankfully, there's a backup. It's not that hard to do. With the backup, it's kind of hard to do with this stuff. I'm not sure if I'm high enough. Okay, I am. So if this happens, just kind of bounce bracelet, and you'll get on over. Now, I'm going to cut back and show the other way to do this. So, see you in a second. Alright, now if you don't want to do that horrible trick, I cannot blame you at all. So instead, we're going to do this horrible trick. Same idea, a lot easier to do. Do something like that, get over to this invincibility capsule. And now, because you're higher up, it's a lot easier to get the height you need to sail on over. In fact, we can just kind of bounce bracelet. The reason we bounce bracelet is because, for whatever reason, it shifts us forward and holds our momentum a lot better. You might have speed shoe momentum coming off of that spring going into the goal ring if you didn't take the invincibility capsule route. Just keep that in mind. If you miss it, you can purple gem up to the goal ring. Now, I haven't found a way to skip Knuckles yet, so we have to do this section. Knuckles has a pretty interesting kit, but there's really no use for it. Like, he has all these combo attacks, but, again, no reason to use them, so just follow my movement. We have to hit 5 of these orbs, you just gotta deal damage to them in some fashion for them to light up. In just a second, we'll be done. Hey, got this lip jump. That's kind of hard to do, but if you get it, it's sick. And flying over to Sonic. Sometimes you'll have meter, sometimes you won't. I'm not sure what causes it. If you don't have meter, bounce off that enemy instead of just homing attacking it, and going through to the end. And there we go. That's Flamecore. Again, this is a difficult stage. This is probably the hardest stage in the run. If you can get down Flamecore, though, you are absolutely set. 100% set. Flamecore is sick. It's so much fun to run. It's so cool to look at. Highly recommend learning it. I promise the tricks are more manageable than they seem, but don't be down on yourself if you don't immediately get them. And now for Radical Train. This is kind of a breath of fresh air. Or not breath of fresh air, but it's a welcome relief. Radical Train doesn't have a lot going on. There are some trains we've gotta save. But that's about it. Just kind of copy my movement here. Now, you do want to homing attack those bots. You need at least 3 Chaos Drives coming at you. There we go. So we get a level 3 purple gem. I'm going to go for a frame perfect jump. Did not get it. If you don't have a level 3 purple gem, just kill one of those enemies. When you land, purple gem high jump your way up to the scale. Blue gem across. You don't actually have to worry too much about your speed. The trains are... they're separate. There's not one continuous train, there are like 3 separate ones. And each one only begins when you cross a certain trigger, so don't worry too much if you botch some of the initial movement. Come over here. Speed shoes. And you know the drill. We're just going to kind of break things. Sometimes you can bounce off that enemy like that. It's pretty cool. Swap to white gem. Sometimes you're allowed to instantly kill that bot. It doesn't happen often because white gem's kind of buggy. And now, Mach speed. Radical Train Mach speed is kind of intense for the first few seconds. And then it's just free. It's just autopilot. But for the beginning, follow my movement. Be a bit careful. It's kind of tricky. So light dash at the start, jump, and angle yourself a bit to the right. Don't go too harsh, otherwise you'll hit a kill plane. Hit the dash pad, light dash on the first trail of rings, then jump. Angle Sonic to the left. Jump, sometimes you'll hit the wall. And then light dash on this trail of rings and jump. Unfortunately, we did not get enough speed to make it across. Let him sail down here. And then just kind of make your way through. Stay on the left side, light dash, grab an invincibility capsule, and it's a straight run to the end. I'm going to try to show that off again real quick. Just to, you know, show you what it's like when it actually goes correctly. There we go. We didn't get the invincibility capsule. It's a little sad, but really, there's nothing that will go wrong. Sometimes that cargo exploding likes to crash your PC. Well, it doesn't actually crash, it just tanks the frame rate for a second. So it's nice if you have invincibility because you can just run through it, but again, nothing too complex. And there we go. That's Radical Terrain. Like I said, nothing too involved going on in that stage. Kingdom Valley, Aquatic Base, we've got a bit more, but again, a little bit of a break. Now, Tropical Jungle, second Princess stage. This stage looks amazing. It has a very stupid skip, and it's right at the start. So, if you don't want to pull your hair out, do this. Go up normally and then kind of try to angle Sonic to the left. Then just fall down onto that ramp. If you want to be a degenerate, you can also do this. See this dash pad? I'm going to try to do an anti-grav right as I hit it. If I do it properly, Sonic is going to do a little hop over it. He'll keep his speed, but I will have control over him. I'm going to try to angle him to the left, and if I do that just right, I get to fly on over to the last section that I showed. No hop, try again. No hop, try again. There's a hop. I don't know if this is enough height. If it is, it's very close. Not enough height, try again. Nope. There's a hop. Not enough height. As you can see, this trick is awful. It saves like 4 seconds, and if you've practiced it a ton, you can get it kind of consistently, but typically it's just pretty awful. There we go. That should do it. Now, either way, jump, hit that spring. Get used to the vine timings here. Just something you've got to practice. Try to jump early so that you can go onto that rail and keep your speed. Homing attack here. These lasers are on a cycle. Don't worry about them too much, though. And homing attack to a spring here. Hold upright as you hit that dash pad. Sometimes it lets you do those jumps. The dash pads that we skipped are very, very slow, so this is pretty useful. If you want to be fancy, angle Sonic up left, and then homing attack like that. Otherwise, just take the bots. It's chill. Not losing too much time. And there we go. Now, there is one more trick left in this section, and it's a pretty big one, so I'm going to grab this checkpoint. Do you remember the roof launches that I did in Wave Ocean? We're going to do something very, very similar with that log down there. We're going to light dash on this trail of rings, and then jump at a certain moment and angle Sonic upright. If we do that correctly, we're going to launch into the air. So right as you transition from this ramp to this log, hold upright and jump. And if you do it correctly, Sonic will go very high, angle him over here, and if we did everything perfectly, we skip a kill plane and we can land down here. Now that trick saves a lot of time because that automated section is very, very slow. So grab that checkpoint if you're not confident you can hit that first try. The trick is fairly simple. Like I said, time your jump so that it's after you exit the ramp. The ramp and log are two separate objects. They have separate collision. So move into the log, angle Sonic upright, jump, then kind of angling left to go over the kill plane. Movement here is pretty cool. Light dash, skids, take down these boxes. Disable your shield before you hit that bot. In this demo, if you hold the shield, sometimes when you get near the enemy, the shield kills them, your homing attack will have nothing to lock onto, and you'll just kind of fall and look like an idiot. Jump over here. 1, 2, 3. Just grinding on some vines. Jump around that. It's pretty slow. Jump. And there we go. That's Tropical Jungle. The stage is pretty fun to route. There might actually be faster routing in Section 2 because there are a lot of alternate paths, so feel free to mess around with it a bit. The route I showed off is the one I personally like the best. It's pretty cool, it's pretty fast, it's pretty fun. But if you can find something better, more power to you. And that was the last of the Princess stages. Now, Kingdom Valley. Kingdom Valley is a very cool stage and a very fun stage, but also a very long stage. Kingdom Valley has a fair few tricks that you'll have to perform throughout it. No individual trick is super difficult, but Kingdom Valley can be a kind of hard stage because of how many you have to do just throughout the run. Also, you kinda can't die. You see, if you die, your gem levels are reset, and a lot of the tricks depend on at least having an upgraded purple gem. If you die, you're going to lose a lot of time generally, so try to avoid that. Let's have some fun. Light dash at the beginning, then jump over to your right. Don't worry about these eagles, they're optional. Don't fail that. Yeah, I messed up my refreshed homing tech, it's all good. So let's do that properly. There we go. Spin dash on down here. And when you get to here, I'm going to do a blue gem, and you see that little lip? You can actually slope jump off of it. If you do it, it's cool. You can do a purple gem high jump and reach that rope. Otherwise, we're just going to hit that one. We did not get the high jump, or the slope jump. So, homing attack that rope, just do this. Now follow my movement, kill those two enemies, light dash, spin dash into those. When you leave this little, like, green rock formation, when you're solidly on the wall, blue gem 3 times. A bit of spin dash. Now, when you see purple gem hit level 3, swap to blue gem. Do this. Quickly back to blue. And we're not going to take the eagle because taking the eagle is slow and lame. Instead, we're going to do this. The trigger is very large, very easy to hit. Very, very easy. It's a pretty cool trick. Now, this is probably the hardest part of Kingdom Valley. Normally, you would play as silver. We don't want to do that. That's slow. We are going to get up to there, go out of bounds, and skip silver entirely. Now, the optimal way to do this is like this. Sky gem, land. Now, if you don't get your purple gem high jumps, don't worry about it. You'll probably land around here. Just jump on a box. High gem your way up. If you make it above that kind of medallion thing, you have enough height to sky gem and make it. This is a very good place to test your purple gem high jumps. Now, this next part is tricky. We need to do 3 very good purple gem high jumps to get out of bounds. See how Sonic went forward? Angle him a bit to the left, and you'll make it. If you're not making it out of bounds, chances are you're cutting off your second purple gem, this one, a bit too soon. Or maybe you're leaving it a bit too late. Just pay attention, make sure you're getting all your high jumps just right, and you should be solid. Now, if you don't get them, let me try to actually get back there. Gosh darn it, we had a kill plane. Let me cut real quick. And okay, we're back. Now, something I forgot to mention, in Section 1, your goal should be to have a level 3 blue gem and a level 3 purple gem. Purple gem is more important, but if you have a blue gem, things are going to be a bit easier because you're going to be using blue gem a lot in this section, and it's going to cost less energy. Anyways, if you can't get your purple gem high jumps, you know, maybe you're just so close, but you can't seem to get it, just throw a sky gem. It's easy. It costs a little bit more energy, which is unfortunate, but, you know, it's a good backup. Now, when you land here, jump. I like to do a purple gem, then just kind of follow my movement. 1, 2, 3. Maybe you're not sure you can make it, so white gem. Then 1, 2, 3. And you're done with silver section. If you really want to play as silver, you can. I'm not going to show off that route, though. You can make it up on your own, honestly. Kingdom Valley, we're trying to go fast, so we skip silver. And take the eagle, and we're done. This section has the stupidest trick in the game. I've mentioned it before, but with a frame-perfect input, you can break dash pads, jump pads, all that. It turns out that if there's a dash pad on a piece of geometry like a loop that tries to automate you, if you get a frame-perfect input, things kind of break. I'm going to try to show this off, but you only get you only really get one shot at it, so mash A. We did not get it. Actually, you know what? I'll cut to it real quick. There we go. So that trick is actually really, really dumb. Like I said, you only get one shot at it because, of course, if you die, gems kind of get reset. You're mashing A, there's no lineup, you have to mash A, but if you homing attack, the trick fails. You have to get a frame-perfect A input while mashing A and then not homing attack. The trick's doable, it saves a bit of time and it's really cool, but it's hard. If you do get it, land around here, then just kind of drop down, light dash, and we're not going to show that movement quite yet. That's spoilers. I need a leveled up gem. So, let's do this again. Take the dash pad, and take the dash pad if you want, or if you fail the trick, and take out these enemies. Thankfully, it's enough to fully upgrade a purple gem, which is useful. Now, what we're going to do here is light dash, and then go for an enemy bounce. 3 purple gem high jumps. If we're not confident we can make it, white gem, sky gem. Now, if you maybe fail the enemy bounce, if you don't think you can do that, there is another route. Don't worry, it's pretty easy. I don't think it loses that much time. Just make our way back over. So get over here, hit the rail, and just kind of move like this. Either way, you end up here. Follow my movement. We're going to go for a slope jump. If we don't get it, we are going to bounce off of that big guy. We did not get it. Purple gem high jumps, light dash, and we're golden. Now, coming up, we have a trick I like to call castle skip. This trick is pretty cool. It's not very difficult. It may look a bit intimidating, but I promise, this one isn't too bad. So jump off that, do 2 purple gems, swap to white gem, and homing attack that rope. Now, same idea here. We are going to make our way over here, get right next to this when you do your refreshed homing attack, wait for the castle to fall, and then blue gem, purple gem around, and there you go. We just skipped a very lengthy automated section, and as you might be able to hear, a combat room. It's pretty cool. Now through here, just kind of follow my movements. Nothing too crazy going on. If you want to be fancy, you can do that. Refresh homing attack, turn around, homing attack, and we're closing in on the end. We just have a bit of combat, and then a Mach speed section. Combat, it's nothing too insane. Homing attack into him, bounce bracelet, homing attack, bounce bracelet, homing attack. And now we have to sit through a silver cutscene. No way to skip this in Demo 3. In Demo 2.5 and before, there is a spring we can take. In Demo 3.5, we can phase through the wall. Demo 3, no such luck. Kingdom Valley Mach speed is largely easy. There are only 2 things to watch out for. There's one trick, which I'll explain when we get to it, but also, in Demo 3, the ceiling, so that lovely bit up there, is a kill plane. You may remember that if you hit a slope in Project 06 with speed, you launch into the air. Well, it just so happens that that bit of ground, that's a slope. And the best way to clear these jumps is to jump at... oh, shoot. Okay, as I was saying, so this little bit of geometry, these little platforms that you have to jump onto, they're sloped right at the edges. And the best way to get on them is by doing a low jump. So I would want to just tap the A button right around here. If you launch, you're dead. That's just how it goes. It sucks, but unfortunately, if you launch, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to hit the kill plane, you're going to die. So, that's just a fun little thing. The other trick in Wave Ocean Mach Speed is right here. Instead of taking these jump pads, we're actually going to jump onto this water wall to the right. And then we have to do some pretty precise movement to avoid going too high and hitting the kill plane, or bonking into any of this geometry. This is a big reason why I like the E3 camera. I find it makes it a lot easier. So jump on over. Angle Sonic kind of up left, angle him down, Hold forward, light dash, you're good. And honestly, that's about it for Kingdom Valley Mach speed. So from the beginning, just light dash often, jump early. We launched. Oh, barely lived, but we died. Yeah, sometimes you can bonk there. I'm not really sure why. The game just sometimes goes burr. Angle the camera if you want a nice view. And just make your way to the end. Simple. Yeah, though, that's Kingdom Valley. This is a pretty darn fun stage to run. It tests a lot of skills. It tests movement. It tests high jumps. There's a lot going on. Some good Mach speed knowledge. It's a pretty fun stage. And alright, it's probably also the hardest one in the run. Or at least the hardest one at the end. Aquatic Base and Tails Wave Ocean aren't super difficult, but there are some things going on. So Aquatic Base is a difficult stage if you want to optimize it. If you want to go really fast, there's a lot that goes into it. If you just want to complete it, it's not that bad. Now, because optimizing it has so many little details, I'm not going to go over all of them right now. I'm just going to give you the rundown of how to clear this stage. Cool stuff going on. There is one cool trick with Tails. I might upload a separate video if there's interest or if I just feel like it on how to properly optimize this stage, but right now, just giving you the general tips to get through. Slight dash here, yada yada. You want to be in a spin ball when you go down these hallways. You don't want to hit the dash pads, they slow you down. And for this one, stay on the left wall, helps you avoid the dash pad. I like to jump there, then bounce bracelet, sometimes you can take out the second one, do a light dash, then an enemy bounce, and don't worry about homing attacking, you'll still be in bounce state. Take him down. Usually you would light dash off of that, but you know. I like to do a blue gem jump off there. If that happens, I just refresh my homing attack. Hit the invisible enemy. Bounce bracelet. This part sucks. I really don't have any good advice here. Good luck on the enemies, because all these balls are also homing attack targets. You need to bounce bracelet like 3 times to clear that. Hit that enemy twice, it will instantly level up any gem you want. And now for this bit. If you want to take it casually, just go on the ball. If you want to be fast, though, you can do this. Tails offers very good advice. This is kind of tricky, but it is very fast, so I would recommend learning it. Just get a good idea for what balls you can stand on. And we'll make it on over to Tails. Now, Tails is actually really interesting. The one big skip in Aquatic Base involves Tails. If you want to do it, we'll finish this section as him. It's very difficult though, so I'm going to go over this second. Grab this checkpoint either way. For now, just follow my movement. You don't actually have to kill the enemies here, thankfully. Just start gliding before you hit the laser, and that way you can kind of keep your speed. Or you can fly back up easily. In Demo 3, this door doesn't actually have collision, so just fly on over it. And then get that checkpoint if you want to be safe. And, oh yeah, I never explained that. So, Tails gets his tail swipes from the adventure games. As you saw, if I press B in the air, I do a vertical one, and if I hit something, I'll kind of bounce into the air on the ground. I'll do a moving one. This bounce one, the airborne one, that's the one that's important. Use that to fly over to the end. Try to snipe this switch from far. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, just walk over to it. Hit the switch, come on over, swap Sonic. Now we just have to take down some enemies and follow my movement here. Just have to hit 4 switches. 3 and 4. And then we do something like blue gem, purple gem. I'm not going to show that off though, because that's the end of the section. If you want to be fancy, there is a way to finish the section as Tails. Now again, this is quite difficult, but it does save something like 10 seconds, and it's very cool, it's very fun. I'd recommend at least trying this at some point, but it is kind of like a high-level strat, don't worry about it too much. So get to this door, and fly just to the right. Tails is on geometry, let's see, we can't see him too well. But he's there, he's out of bounds. Now hold forward and fly. We clip back in, that's alright, that's alright. You can't actually get back through the door on this side, so give me 1 second. Okay, we're back at the door, let's try that again. So fly up and over, bit to your right, land. Jump off to your right, and this next landing is pretty tight. Right here, there we go. So you may think, oh, that's easy, I can land on any of this. You can't. That's not solid. You may be able to see a little shadow just kind of going down the middle. That's about where the geometry ends. If we pan the camera to the left, Tails he's kind of in bounds. We can see him. What a good lad. Anyways, we have to land on this little seam that's just out of bounds but still has collision. If you've done this, the hardest part is yet to come, unfortunately. We're kind of going to be flying blind here. Follow my movement, take a wide angle to avoid a kill plane. Let's hope we get it. Mostly let Tails fall here, so that you still have some energy to do that. And there we go, I think this is good. So right here, we're barely out of bounds. We're barely out of bounds. If we take a few steps to our left, we'll clip back in, we can't do this. If we're a bit to our right, then of course we'll just fall into the void. What we're going to do here is fly to the end. You can kind of see that door there. That's the end of the section. Now we also have to fly around some kill planes. So follow my movement, go low, kind of dip below, fly up, and if you do it right, boom. We're at the end of Sonic's section. That trick is very difficult. I really cannot overstate that. Cannot overstate that. Cannot say it enough. That trick is very, very hard. Especially to do quickly. Going through the door, that's easy. Landing on that first piece of collision, that's fine. Landing on that first seam, doing that quickly is pretty difficult. You go too far left, you have to finish the stage normally. And then that last jump, landing on that last piece out of bounds, that one's torture. But it's such a cool trick. Again, I'm mostly just saying it's bad because I literally found this like a day ago. So it's still pretty new. I'm sure it'll be fine once we lab it more. But anyways, just walk forward, finish the section. Light dash immediately, then spin dash. Mow down these enemies. I choose to level up my purple gem. And, okay. Blue gem over here, you can make it to the end. Take down these guys, nice and easy, nice and easy. And you know the drill. Spin ball on down. Right here, we just have to hit this magnet switch, and then this one. I like to bounce bracelet off of it, messed it up a bit. You do have to walk up to that invisible wall to trigger the swap. And now we get to play Knuckles Gliding Sim. Nothing interesting really goes on here. If you glide into an enemy, you'll bounce higher. That's kind of neat. But yeah, this section, it's just about over, and there we go. Now, normally, we're supposed to ride on this ball, but that's kind of slow. So if you want to be fancy, just follow my movement. Just kind of blue gem, purple gem your way around. This really isn't as hard or scary as it looks. In fact, I'm going to be a little fancy and do this. There we go. And boom, end of the section. Now let's purple gem our way up. You don't have to kill this enemy if you don't want to. I'm going to just level up my white gem, because these enemies give you a full level up on whatever gem you want. Now when you get up here, white gem the first enemy, that'll kill all of them. And then you just kind of get to do this combat. Do it however you want. Hopefully you have a leveled up white gem. If RNG is in your favor, you can one-shot all those enemies. And then just blue gem spin dash your way down this hallway. If your blue gem is level 3, it'll actually kill any enemies by you on activation. The effect doesn't last a super long time, it's not super pronounced, so don't rely on it, but it's an option. I missed going around, so we take that jump pad. And that's the end of Aquatic Base. Again, optimizing this stage is hard. I think my best time is like 3 minutes, 30 seconds on this demo. In 3.5, it's like 3:06 because 3.5 Aquatic Base is so broken. But Demo 3, it's mostly movement-based. That Tails trick at the end is difficult, but very satisfying if you pull it off. Aside from that, pretty straightforward. And now, for the last stage of the run, Tails Wave Ocean. There's nothing going on here, honestly. Tails Wave Ocean is such an easy stage. Don't hold forward at the beginning, or otherwise you'll skid. But aside from that, that's basically the only difficult tech in this entire stage. I have yet to find anything really cool, or at least anything very fast. When you land here, go to your left, fly. You'll go around some invisible walls. Just make it to the beach. It's chill. You can either go to the left and take the hut, or if you want to be a bit more daring, you can do this. Land here, fly up, tail swipe that guy, and then fly to about here. Jump off the rail before you reach the end, and in just a second, we should get some energy cores flying into us. That lets us fly a little bit longer, and we can make it to the cave. Well, we could have if I didn't fly all the way up. If you don't do that, you'll land on the ground. Just, you know, fly on over. Fly over those. Really, Tails Wave Ocean is very, very simple. I would call this a victory lap, but nothing goes on here. Honestly, it's a shame, too. Because Tails has some really cool movement, potentially, with, like, his tail swipe and maintaining momentum. But we don't really get to see that. Just fly over here, get on the hut, and then do the same skip that we did in Sonic's Wave Ocean. Oh, missed that a bit. So slope jump, tap A, hold at the end, land on the rock, get a slope jump, and time ends when you hit the goal ring. And there we go. That's Project 06. Now, let's see. Hopefully that was coherent. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of the speedrun, a good introduction, good place to start out. Hopefully you pick this game up. Honestly, Project 06 is such a sick speedrun. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I streamed this game on my Twitch channel. If you want to see some runs, there should be some VODs up. Project 06 doesn't have its own Discord. Instead, we use the Retail 06 speedrunning Discord. I mean, it's a small enough community as is. Gotta keep it together. Some solidarity. We do have our own channels for it, though, so link to the Discord is in the description below. At time of recording, Project 06's speedrun.com boards aren't technically up. They've been created. I'm just waiting on the Fangame Supermod to give, or Global Mod to give me, you know, the permissions so that I can actually make the boards a thing. But don't let that discourage you from running the game. Go ahead, pick it up, join the Discord. We keep track of times. Whenever I do get permissions and can set up the boards, I'll be sure to port everything over as long as it's submitted. It's grand old time. If you want to farm lives, I will show off that location real quick. I'll just cut to it. It's in Crisis City. Alright, if you want to farm lives, this is about the best place to do it. Rather than doing the purple gem skip, just make your way over here, take this checkpoint, and then follow my movements. Grab that one up, homing tech the bird, go through the rainbow ring, go off to the side, jump off that enemy, homing tech backwards, get the one up, die, and that's going to reset all of them. So, we get back to here, jump off, homing attack, homing attack, homing attack. Move jump to the side, bounce off him, grab it, repeat. You shouldn't have to get too many one-ups, thankfully. If you want to keep your progress in Project 06, like, say I grind 100 lives. That's what I normally do. I get 100 lives in a demo, or maybe like 50 or 60 if I don't intend to speedrun it. And then I finish the stage. Make sure you finish the stage once you've got your lives, and just exit out of the game. Now, you should get a prompt like from WinRare or something saying, hey, some files were extracted or changed, do you want to save that? Just exit out of that prompt. Assuming everything went correctly, when you load the game back up, you should have however many lives before you started the session. It should keep all settings intact. So if I were to just turn everything up to max here, I could play around in the game, and then I'd exit out, I'd get the prompt, I'd say no to it, and then when I load it back up, I'll be back on whatever I had this before. Alright, that should about cover it. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below, or of course hit me up in the Discord. Hope you enjoy.